You've most certainly heard of the terms Glatt, Chalak, or just plain kosher meat. But what makes them different from one another? Let's begin with the simplest of the three. The word kosher is a general term which tells us that a certain food is permissible for consumption according to Jewish law. For beef, however, things get a little bit complicated. In order for an animal to be kosher, it requires the following three criteria. 1, it must chew its cud, which is already chewed and swallowed food sent back up for another round, and have split hooves. 2, it must be slaughtered according to specific and strict conditions and rituals, also known as shchita. And 3, it must be healthy. By definition, an unhealthy animal, known as a taref animal, is one that has 12 or less remaining months to live, and eating it is prohibited. So how can we tell if an animal has a potential 12 or more months to live? Determining the life expectancy is done both externally and internally. Externally, it may not have any damage, such as a missing leg, and internally, the most frequent case of an internal damage is a flawed lung. It is in fact the state of the animal's lungs which will let us know the difference between a chalak, a glatt, or a plain kosher animal. Once slaughtered, the certified rabbinical inspector checks the animal's lungs. The simplest case would be perfectly smooth lungs without any abrasion, rendering the meat as chalak, which is Hebrew for smooth, and in Yiddish we would say glatt. So in essence, is chalak and glatt the same? Well, yes, but it depends who you follow, and allow me to explain. If a piece of meat is said to be Chalak Bet Yosef, it means that its lungs had no imperfections, and the name Bet Yosef was given according to the Sephardi code of Jewish law. If we say Glatt Rama, it means that there were a few imperfections, which the verifier successfully removed with his finger, and the word Rama is derived from the Ashkenazi decision maker's name. If the lung, however, had imperfections that were unable to be removed with the finger, the verifier will attempt scratching the imperfection with his nail. He then inflates the lungs, dips them in water, and if bubbles surface, then the lung is punctured, meaning that the animal could not live and therefore is forbidden. If not, it means the lungs have no hole, and Rama considers it to be an animal that could have lived another 12 months. Such meat may no longer be glatt, but it is still kosher. In summary, Sephardim must only eat Chalak Bet Yosef meat coming from an animal with flawless lungs. According to the Ashkenazim, the lungs' minor imperfections are not an issue and can therefore consume Glatt Rama. If he can't get hold of Glatt Rama or Chalak Bet Yosef meat though, he can still eat plain kosher meat, which, as we said, may not have had perfectly smooth lungs, but they at least weren't punctured.